Good day, guys. My name is Gospel, and today's section we are going to be looking at roots of quadratic equation. We are going to be looking at various expressions of roots and how they can easily be expressed. Now, when you talk about a quadratic equation is always in the form of ax squared, are you getting the point here? Plus bx plus c. Ax squared plus bx plus c. This is a normal quadratic equation form. Now, you should know that if I want to get the root of a quadratic equation, or let's say the root of a quadratic equation, what does it mean to have a root? Now, for you to have a root of a quadratic equation, the root of a quadratic equation simply means the solution of that quadratic equation. It simply means the solution of that particular quadratic equation. So let's say my root of the quadratic equation is alpha and beta. Let's say the root of my quadratic equation is alpha and beta. It simply means that my x1 is equals to alpha and my x2 is equals to beta. My x1 is equals to alpha and my s2 is equals to beta. Now, what does it mean? Now, it simply means that the roots of the quadratic equation are the solutions of that particular quadratic equation. Are we getting the point now? So now, let's now say that we now want to make this back into a what? A quadratic equation. From here, this will move over the equality sign and this will also move over the equality sign. So let's say we discard this 1 and 2 and say x minus alpha, and let's say x minus beta. Are you getting something here? X minus alpha, x minus beta. Therefore, if we now do something like this, let's multiply together. X with this we form x squared, x with this we form minus beta x, minus alpha multiplied by x will give us minus alpha x, minus alpha multiplied by minus beta will give us plus alpha beta. Are we getting something here? Now you can see that x and x here are what? Are the same. That is, they are common factors. It simply means that I can say it is x squared minus alpha plus beta x. It simply means if I remove the minus here, this is a minus, this is a minus. If I remove these two minus, it becomes plus. That is, minus times alpha will give us minus alpha, and minus times beta will give us minus beta. And I can also remove x. X multiplied by alpha will give us minus alpha x, and x multiplied by beta will also give us beta x. And this will be plus alpha beta. It simply means that the quadratic equation, if I want to form a quadratic equation, it simply means that the formula is x squared minus alpha plus beta simply means sum minus sum of roots x plus product of roots plus product of roots plus product of root. Let me give you a typical example. For example now, let's say we have something like this. Let's say the root of my particular equation is x is equals to 2 and x is equals to 3. And they asked us to find the quadratic equation for the root x equals to 2 and x equals to 3. I simply know that from the formula, it's going to be x squared minus sum of the roots. I'm going to add this and this together. 2 plus 3 will give me 5x plus what? Plus product of the root, right? 2 times 3 will give me what? Plus 6. And this will be my quadratic equation. Are we getting something here? It simply means that if I do it the same way, saying x minus 2, that is this cross the equality sign, I'm saying x minus 3, this crossing the equality sign, is it going to give me something like x squared minus 3x minus 2x plus 6. Minus 3x minus 2x will give me x squared minus 5x plus what? Plus 6. It's still going to be giving me the same answer. Are we getting something here? Do we understand something? from what I'm doing. Now, let's now say since our quadratic equation can also be written in form of x squared minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta, in which my alpha and beta are the roots of the quadratic equation. Now, if I want to contrast with this, right, I need to make this x, are you there, single by dividing throughout by what? By a. So if I divide throughout by a, it's going to be in form of ax squared over a plus bx over a plus c over a. So let's say this is equation 1 and this is what? Equation 2. Therefore, if this cancels out this becomes x squared plus bx over a plus c over a, my equation 2. Are we getting something here? Now, let's now compare equation 1 with equation 2. Now, if I'm comparing equation 1 with equation 2, that is by equating the what? The coefficient, this x squared is the same thing as this x squared. Are you getting something here? Now, this minus alpha plus beta x is also the same thing as this. Because if I want to equate the coefficient, it's going to be in form of minus into bracket alpha plus beta x will be equals to plus b over a x. Why am I equating these two? Because this is x and this is x. And that means that the coefficient of this x here must also be equal to the coefficient of this what? Of this x here. And therefore, if I cancel out the x, are you there? And I take this minus to divide both sides, I'm going to say alpha plus beta is equal to minus b over a. Alpha plus beta is equals to minus b over a. That is the first expression. Now let's look at the second expression here. Let's look at the second expression. Looking at this, which you are saying x squared plus b over ax plus c over a. Now, know that this is what? Deficient of x. And this is also deficient of x. It simply means that I can equate this to this, right? I'm saying alpha beta is now equals to c over a. Are you getting the point now? And that is how we can say alpha beta is equal to c over a, and alpha plus beta is equal to minus b over a. And these are the two major expressions in the root of quadratic equation. We know that alpha beta is equal to c over a, and alpha plus beta is equal to minus b over a. Note something. A is the coefficient of x squared, b the coefficient of x, and c is a what? A constant in a quadratic equation. So anytime you see the coefficient of x squared, that is your what? Your a. Anytime you see the coefficient of x, that's your b. And anytime you see a particular value deficient of x, is known as a constant, and that will be your c value. Now, in our next class, we're now going to be looking at different aspects using what I call root of quadratic equation, in which we are going to be deriving different expressions from them. God bless you. Thank you. Meet me in my next video.